Hi, welcome back. Real Madrid, 14-time champions of Europe. That's double the amount of any other side. They beat Liverpool 1-0 this afternoon in Paris to put a bow on what's just been a stellar season under Carlo Ancelotti. Just incredible scenes there at the Stade de France. It's so good to have you with us. I mean, there was just so many headlines coming into this day, and we wondered what would be a defining factor. But after 90 minutes, was Thibaut Courtois the difference for you, Jimmy?
I would say yes. He obviously made the differences in the game. You have to have a hot goalkeeper to win any of these types of competitions. They had it, not only in this game, but Courtois throughout the knockout rounds in particular, fantastic. And then some of the names of the clubs they beat along the way, PSG, the defending champions prior to today, Chelsea, Manchester City, who obviously Pep Guardiola's only focused on trying to win this. And he can't still do it without Messi in his team, just throwing that out there. But Carlo Ancelotti, I have another fun fact for everybody. Since he won this Champions League here in 2022, he has won either the European Cup or Champions League in the 1980s as a player or manager, 1980s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and now 50 years this guy has just been super successful. And I actually want to ask everybody else, do you think he's the most successful manager of all time or the best manager of all time?
Yes, because in the same narrative of this conversation about European competition, we also have to remember that he's won the league in multiple countries as well. This is a manager who, I think to your point, because of what he knows what it takes to be a player, kind of just lets his players do their thing. I don't think that's devaluing the work that Carlo Ancelotti does. I think it's more emphasizing the fact that, this is a manager that pays attention to his squad and to what he wants to do ahead. And by the way, it's very important to remember that it's not easy to manage a team like Real Madrid. There are egos everywhere. Players fighting for positions. I mean, it happens in big clubs, but I think Carlo Ancelotti just has that knack and that aura to be, to your point, be a player whisperer.
And he's got the best out of the young players as well. But Daniel, would you agree? Would you put Ancelotti ahead of Klopp, a manager that you played under while you were at Liverpool?
I played under both. I played with Ancelotti at Chelsea. Mm-hmm. Fantastic manager, don't get me wrong. He's up there with the greats. I wouldn't necessarily say right now I would laud him as the greatest manager of all time, but he's certainly in the conversation. He's done amazing.
Who would you laud as the greatest manager at the minute?
I think it's a pick-em. I think there's many managers out there. Pep Guardiola, Sir Alex Ferguson, as you say, Zidane's been amazing. I mean, there's many others that I haven't mentioned off the top of my head, but I think there are a lot of managers out there who deserve credit too. But Ancelotti is a fantastic manager. Man management skills are next level. He gets the best out of his players, as you've seen tonight, leading this team. No one expected them to win the Champions League, I think, at the beginning of the campaign. Mm-hmm. So to get them to this point, to win this competition, he deserves all the credit in the world. Speaking
of managers, do you think there's anything Klopp could have done differently in today's game as far as man management or substitutions?
I wouldn't say so. I think they created chances, they played well. I think they had the better of the game. Real Madrid were just clinical. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the history, probably the last 5 or 6 games Real Madrid have played, they've not necessarily took a lot of shots to score goals. They've been clinical in front of goal. And tonight showed that again, that, they didn't create a load of chances, but they still managed to get the job done. I think Liverpool played great. Of course, they would have liked to have played better and to have scored a goal, but Courtois was amazing, and what can you do about that?
He was amazing. I think, we were just talking off air there, Liverpool struggles this season in major finals and scoring goals in the big moment when it matters. Of course, you need a bit of luck and fortune as well. It's not just coming up against a great goalkeeper who really performs well against you. I think you also got to take your chances. You've got to find a way. And they didn't find a win. Across these major finals, struggling to get goals, it's a pressure on you as the game goes on.
League Cup, no goals in 90 minutes. Yeah. FA Cup, the same thing, and now the Champions League.
But the Ancelotti question was a great one. Because of history in this competition, I mean, he is right up there. Nobody can ever say against that. But just to see Real Madrid, I mean, again, we go back to it, right? Before the game, if Liverpool play their best football, they win this. They played pretty close to their best football. Wasn't their best. But again, Ancelotti found a way. It's not just about man management. It's about game management, substitutions, picking the right players. How shocked were we didn't take Toni Kroos off or take one of the oldies off in midfield? I mean, they look absolutely knackered in midfield. But then he makes a change and it makes you think, like, what's he doing? But they managed to find a way to win this game, and it was great to watch. The final wasn't a great game, though. It was disappointing.
No, it wasn't.
It was disappointing. But I think it's just amazing that they've won 14 titles now. It's incredible.
Well, there was chances for both sides, wasn't there, this afternoon? Let's just show you the best of the action. Well, of course, a rematch of the 2018 final where Real Madrid took home the silverware. Liverpool looking for revenge in their third Champions League title, their seventh overall, and they needed to do it at the expense of the Kings of Europe. Kickoff was delayed by 30 minutes due to security and ticketing issues outside of the stadium. But Courtois, we talked about him, he was absolutely massive, forced to make a save here, Jimmy.
Yeah, first chance of the game here to Liverpool. No big surprise. They like to get after teams. Trent Alexander-Arnold finds himself in the box. Mo Salah does enough, but Courtois already kind of a precursor of what's to come from his performance.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we talk about how good he is off the ball, but his command inside the box is, I mean, this is a ridiculous save.
Unbelievable.
His absolute reactionary, I mean, look at that. The fact
that's
that
the best of the bunch right there.
It's probably the best one, I agree.
And then we'll jump ahead, 43 minutes on the clock. A long ball in for Benzema, Daniel.
Yes, I mean, you know, it's a fantastic first touch. Manipulated the ball very well, and you know, he was unfortunate to get a shot off there. Of course, the ricochets happened, the ball went in the back of the net, and there was a big decision made by VAR.
Do you think that was a goal right there? Do you think that should have been given?
I would have wheeled off in jubilation, if I'm totally honest with you. And I'd have been absolutely buzzing. But at the same time, with VAR these days, you know, of course, it's down to them, and you never know.
It's amazing to think that video review played a role in that final right there, but it looks like they might have just got the correct decision. And then this happened. I mean, this is just incredible. Right place at the right time. It's a fabulous finish. I'm not sure if we're giving an assist right here to Valverde, but Vinny Jr., 17 goals, 13 assists in La Liga this campaign. That's his fourth Champions League goal. Just keeping himself onside. Just keeping himself onside. Killer instinct right there, though.
Killer instinct indeed. As a winger in those positions, you're always told, get yourself at the back post for anything that goes into the 6-yard box. And that is the most position that goals happen for wingers. So it was a fantastic finish by him. He made it look easy, because those finishes aren't an easy thing to do. So credit to him, he took the goal well.
Yeah, and here's another opportunity with a big paw of Thibaut Courtois getting involved. Another opportunity. I just love his feet, scrambling to get him across the box. Mo Salah does very well to get on the end of this, but Courtois is honestly a wall.
I mean, it's a tremendous save. You think it's going in, and once again, he does it. Here's another chance, by the way, with Mohamed Salah coming inside the box and trying just with his first.
That might be the best save. I think that might be better than Sadio Mane.
At the stage of the game,
yes.
That was
I mean, look at the way that Real Madrid teammates are going around them, Poppy. It's just, to me, it's an unbelievable performance from Thibaut Courtois. I think Schmeichel said it, and I agree. I think you won't see a better performance in a final than Thibaut Courtois right now.
You could just see what it meant to the Real Madrid players and the way they flocked around Thibaut Courtois. 9 saves, that's the Champions League final record. What a day for him. But so disappointing if you're a Reds fan. Virgil van Dijk there with his head in his hands. But incredible scenes at the Stade de France as Real Madrid win their 14th Champions League title. Well, here's a look then at the full-time match stats. Only 1 goal in it, but you can just see how entertaining the game was. 24 shots, 9 of which were on target for Liverpool, but they couldn't score any of them. Even possession, but in the end, Real Madrid, not only the kings of Spain, but once again, the kings of Europe. Well, let's hear now from Luka Modric following the match.
What's in there? What's in here and what's in here? What's in the head and what's in the heart?
I don't know really what to say. This is unbelievable. 5 times to win Champions League from 5 finals, it's something unbelievable. This is the character, heart, everything. This team possesses all qualities that is necessary to be champions.
Today was about mostly defending and finding that moment for you to score, basically.
Yeah, I think we first half we defend too much. We didn't have too much of the ball. Liverpool was pressing high and they did good, but we stayed calm. We didn't panic. Second half we play much better. We had more possession, and from one long possession we scored that goal. And after was we put body on the lines. We defend well. We fight for each other, and we made it till the end, and we won, which is unbelievable, like I thought.
The mind is so weird, isn't it? Because the disallowed goal changed things around for you. All of a sudden, you feel more confident.
Yeah, I think from that disallowed goal, we start believing more. And I think in Liverpool, they enter a bit panic. They were not that confident anymore. And from there, we build up and we start playing better. And on the end, we won, which is most important.
Last one, who do you dedicate it to?
We dedicated first to us, to our family for the whole year that we did. It was amazing, and to all our fans.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, he's one of many players that's just been absolutely clutch for Real Madrid once again this season. It's hard to believe, isn't it, that he's 36 years old, won all 8 Champions League appearances that he's played in. It's a record 14th European title for the club, as we mentioned, and their first Champions League title since 2018, which was the last time they knocked off the Reds. But Luka Modric, I mean, you can pick out so many key moments where he has saved Real Madrid this season in Europe, LME.
Absolutely. He represents Real Madrid. And it was interesting, one part in that interview that he said that I'm really highlighting. And he said, I don't know, Liverpool just panicked and they were nervous. And he said it as if he was saying, I don't ever experience that. It doesn't matter what happens in a game. We might be trailing, we might not be playing well, but we're calm and we're collected. And at some point, we'll make it happen. And Luka Modric, to me, represents that. And that's why when we say he's getting older, how many years does he have left? It doesn't matter. He's there and he's controlling the game in his mind and physically as well.
I think it does matter though, LME, though. I think it does matter. I think you've got to give him more credit. You're giving him a lot of credit, but I think you've got to give him more credit. He's 36. and the fact that he can perform it the way he's performed to get them to this stage. Okay, it wasn't his best performance today and he looked tired throughout that game. But what he's done today, and in that midfield in particular with Kroos and Casemiro, who really was impressive today, he had a bit of a nasty streak about him. I mean, this is exceptional. He's won his 5th Champions League trophy.
World Cup winner.
And I think there's another 8 players joining him who have won it 5 times for Real Madrid. Yeah. And it's just exceptional. The statistics continue to get crazier and crazier when it comes to this club and this competition. Yeah. But him individually, I mean, special player.
Special player, his passing abilities, the technical abilities, the tactical awareness, the things he does. He manages the game well for the team. And you see with Real Madrid, the way they play the game, they don't force things. They're very content passing it back to the defence and rebuilding and starting the attack again. Liverpool, the way Liverpool play is more direct, whereas Real Madrid in the way that Modric manages the game well, keeps the flow of the game going, calms it down a little bit when they need to take a break, and they rested with the ball today, and that was an important thing for them.
Daniel, you mentioned in the pre-show that this game could be won in the midfield. How did you feel it unfolded? Did you think Real Madrid outclassed Liverpool in the middle of the park?
Oh, tough one.
It's a tough one because I would say that they both had their times where they dominated the game, and I think that when Real Madrid had the ball, they were taking their time. They were building things up a little bit slower. The balls for Vinicius wasn't there and available as they would have liked it to early on in the game, but as the game went on, they were able to start getting Vinicius the ball in behind the defence, and that made a big difference.
I was surprised that the possession ended up 50-50. Usually, when you play against Madrid, it's so heavy or one-sided to the opponent for them. But today, they found a way to make those key passes that I think unlocked a lot of the Liverpool pressure. And we've been on the field enough to know that if you go and you press the game and all of a sudden the other team starts to play through you, you get a little bit more tired, you're a little unsure of yourself, are we going to go? That said, Liverpool did create a lot of opportunities, but none of them were too dangerous. Maybe the Salah one in the second half and the Mane one in the first half. But outside of that, not as much. I do have a question, though, for Daniel. What happens with Liverpool now? Because Sadio Mane could be on the move. Mo Salah, his contract stuff isn't resolved. What are they going to do with the Fabinhos? The guys are getting a little bit older. This could be a transition year for Liverpool in a way. I mean, the quality's still going to stay high, don't get me wrong. They do an excellent job in the transfer market. But this could be a moment of change for Liverpool. I wonder if the fans are ready for that conversation.
I don't think so. I think the club is considered one of the best football clubs in the world. And if a player leaves, a player will be replaced with another world-class talent.
That's true.
So I don't think there's going to be any issues in terms of a rebuild per se, because I do think some of those players who are in contract negotiations will sign deals. The club will make sure that they try and keep the core group together, because that's what's made this squad successful. So I think it's going to be an important off-season, of course, but I do believe that Liverpool will make the right signings in terms of contracts and also helping the squad.
They're going to have to, because Erling Haaland just came to Manchester City.
But we have to remember something. I think that we have also hyped up Liverpool so much this season of they're going to win the quadruple. Are they going to win the quadruple? This narrative has been going on throughout the whole season. They did win the FA Cup. They did win the League Cup, and they pushed Man City all the way to the final day of the season for the Premier League. So another question could be, is this a successful season for Liverpool, or is it a failure?
No, this has been a successful season,
Yeah.
but I think they'll be disappointed. There'll be disappointment. I mean, when you lose the Premier League, which is obviously what they want to win as well, alongside the Champions League, you lose both of those, that's disappointment right there. 2 domestic trophies are nice, but this Liverpool squad, and to all your points there, I think they made the most important signing already, and that's Jurgen Klopp. If you keep Klopp there, you can manage to attract some of the best players in the world without having to pay the biggest price tags to get them to come there because they want to come play for
Yeah,
it.
Jurgen Klopp will be staying at Merseyside, but will Ancelotti be staying in Madrid? Well, for now, let's hear from him following the match.
Carlo, that was a sensational performance, and you can see the joy behind you there.
I cannot believe, but yeah, I think that we had a fantastic season. We did really well. It was a difficult game, suffered a lot more first half, better second half. I think at the end, with all the game that we played, I think we deserve to win this competition. We are really happy, and that's it. What can I say? I cannot say more.
We know Real Madrid's history in this competition, such a famous run, but now you're a record holder. This is your 5th. Fantastic.
I am a record man. Champions League, I had the luck to come here last year and to have a fantastic season. I found, as usual, a fantastic club and a really good squad with a lot of quality, with a lot of mental character, with strong mental character, and I think the season was top.
Did you feel your name was on the trophy in the way you were the comeback kings all through the competition?
Sorry?
Did you did you think you were just destined to win this trophy in the way that you kept coming back?
Yeah, I think that we passed through a really difficult game, really difficult game. The supporter helped us a lot. In the last game, they helped us tonight. Really happy that they are happy.
And Thibaut Courtois, what a performance by him.
Wow, unbelievable. I tell you, I cannot believe.
Go enjoy it.
Have you bited yet?
No, I didn't beat it yet. You know, I just still an unbelievable feeling to have won finally a Champions League. It's incredible.
You helped but a little bit.
Yeah, I think today, after that first save on the left, I just felt it was a good day for me, and I've been playing a great season, and to cap it off like this with the last game of the season like this is unbelievable.
So you already touched a little bit on how it feels, but give us more. You've got your kids here, your family here.
Yeah, indeed. You know, this year everything fell on the right side. All these amazing comebacks. You know, it's a Champions League for the history. And yeah, after 8 years ago, I lost the final, and I really wanted to win one. And I think I proved it today that I didn't want to let one ball in. I think they were the most dominant team, but yeah, finally you have to win. It's sometimes hard, and a goalkeeper also plays his part. You know.
Today was a game for goalkeepers because you defended a lot and very close to you as well.
Yeah, indeed. We knew we didn't want them to play in the back of the defense because that's their strength. So I think the first half we did quite well, but then like the save I did on Mané is the ball that is in between lines, and there we didn't defend as well. But yeah, I think in general I just felt it was my day and I had to save everything.
You felt that in the second half things got better for you, perhaps even from the disallowed goal.
Yeah, definitely. I think the disallowed goal gave them a bit more fear and gave us more confidence. I don't know if it was rightly called off, but the referee explained me in half-time, so yeah, I guess it was fine. But I think second half we played better, we did more, we were positioning ourselves better on the field to cause them pain in the back of the left and right back. I think there was a difference today.
Last one, choose a save. Out of all the ones that you did, one.
I think the most important one must maybe the one of Mané, because if they score there, the game is really different. So with 1-0, okay, it's still important to win the game, but it's different. If they come ahead, it will be much harder for us. So yeah.
Congratulations to you.
We'll get to Courtois in a second. Redemption for him after losing his last Champions League final today. He is the hero in Paris. But let's just talk about Carlo Ancelotti. I was half expecting him to be there with a cigar when he was having that interview. But Daniel, you played under him. I mean, so much credit to him for what he's done with this team this season. But what is he like as a manager and a man manager as well at that?
Fantastic man manager. The players always love him. Everyone gives their all for him. And for me as a young player, I remember I used to come to the ball quite a lot. I wanted the ball to feet to dribble. And he always used to say, Daniel, I want you to run in behind. That's how you score more goals. And I was thinking, okay, he gave me a video of Inzaghi. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went home, watched the DVD of Inzaghi. And then I think it was about 2 weeks later, I ran him behind in the Champions League game, scored a goal. And he was like, you see, that's how you score goals. And it made me realize, like, okay, like he's right. And then you buy into everything he does. And the senior players at Chelsea at the time, all the experienced players, absolutely loved him. He was an unbelievable manager.
Speaking of the senior players, he's such a selfless manager as well. I think many were surprised when he was getting advice from those on the bench, the substitutes in that last match. Were you surprised by that though, or is that just something that he wants constantly input from the team?
Absolutely not. He's a player's coach, and I think he respects his players. And that's the most important thing. As a player, you want to be able to have a conversation with your manager, and he listens and he understands, and he will have a vibe with you. And I feel that as a player, if you can go to your manager and say, Gaffer, what do you think about this? And he goes, yeah, well, I think this. I think that helps you because you feel involved and you're on the pitch at the end of the day. So the manager, you know, has to listen to you as well because you're feeling the things. He sees everything, but you're feeling it, and that's a great thing for him.
Vinicius Jr. is the best example,
yeah,
I think, right? He came into Real Madrid a little bit unsure of himself, and now look, he's a perfect Robin to Karim Benzema's Batman. It's unbelievable.
And surely now he's got to be the future for Real Madrid, Carlo Ancelotti. Has he got to be the priority?
Poppy, I mean, this time last year he was managing Everton. I have no idea what he's going to do. I mean, it's crazy to think that he's just won yet again another Champions League trophy. It's just exceptional to think. You know, the man management, we can talk about it. Obviously, Daniel can speak about it, about personal experience, but we all love him. We all love his style. You can clearly see that his players love playing for him. The relationship he has with the experienced boys, with the Karim Benzemas, the Luka Modric, the hugs, the kisses. He's certainly sitting there with a cigar with these legendary players now at Real Madrid, but also these young kids who are coming through, like a Daniel Sturridge back in the day, helping them advance their career, but also seeing the game differently. Don't forget he was a player at one point, and also an exceptional player at one point. So he sees the game differently to a lot of people out there in the world, and I mean, way he has transitioned into being this coach, Jimmy, is really fun.
You have to wonder how much Kylian Mbappe would improve under.
I wonder how Kylian Mbappe is feeling watching Real Madrid lift that title. Well, for more, let's take you back out to the Stade de France where our reporter James Ben just standing by. James, it is so good to see you. Describe the scenes there when Real Madrid just lifted their 14th Champions League title.
I mean, as you can imagine, it was really loud. There was all sorts of Real Madrid players, fans on the pitch in jubilation. Obviously, the fans weren't on the pitch, and you know, family as well. But I thought some of the moments that stood out to me were the quieter moments. And you guys were talking about Carlo Ancelotti there. Just seeing him and Dani Ceballos sat on the podium, having a little chin wag while the rest of the squad went to pick up their medals. I mean, Ceballos is one of those archetypal examples of a Madrid player who's not a star, who's not a regular, but seems so happy under Ancelotti, and I think a real win for Carlo and his players tonight.
Obviously, we saw what happened going into the pre-game, but you were there. The kickoff was delayed by 30 minutes, and we must not forget that this might have had an influence on the energy in the game and also the game overall. Trying to get into the stadium, the craziness, obviously we saw your footage as well, James. What was it like? Can you even describe it?
It was a very strange, surreal experience that for a while felt like one story, and I was stood here maybe 25 minutes before the initial kickoff, and what I thought we might be getting was a tale of some fans just getting in a bit late. I have to say, and I know that the UEFA are saying that a lot of Liverpool supporters jumped over the barriers. The Liverpool supporters I saw had been queuing for an awful long time, some of them for up to 3 hours, the ones I'd spoken to, and were utterly unable to comprehend what was going on, very badly managed. And then, of course, as it got nearer to kick-off, things got a little bit more uncomfortable. The French police began tear-gassing people that were waiting there. And, of course, we should say some of these people did not have a ticket and should not have been in here. But it was a very sad and a strange experience for what was a major final. And you know, I was stood outside here as the Champions League anthem was playing and the teams were coming out, and you could see these Liverpool supporters who had done everything right. They'd been here 3 hours early, and they couldn't get in, and it was not going to happen. And you realise that it was a real disappointing moment, and you can see why Liverpool are angry, and there will be questions for UEFA, Stade de France officials and everyone else to answer.
Yeah, James, I'm looking forward to seeing what the fallout is on that and how security changes or just protocols in general. My question for you, though, is after kickoff, the game starts. Now, when we watch it on TV, we're consuming it in a different way, but you're there in person. Did it feel like Real Madrid were always comfortable, even when they weren't in charge, when it felt a little chaotic? Because that seems to be their modus operandi this season in particular.
No, don't listen to anything that Thibaut Courtois or anyone else tells you. They were on the back foot for 45 minutes, maybe more. I thought they were getting played out of the game. I mean, you could probably argue, and I'm sure everyone will tell me, that this is what Real Madrid want anyway. They're perfectly happy, and they probably were thinking, actually, we need to go a goal down before we can really turn this on. No, they were, Liverpool were dominant, and there were so many moments where there were missed passes, opportunities that could have come their way from a Liverpool perspective, that didn't quite materialise. And I think on another day, with almost any other goalkeeper in the world, Liverpool would have won this 2 or 3-1.
Brilliant stuff, James. You have been at some of the best games this season in Europe, and tonight you're at the pinnacle. I'm so happy that you're able to be there. Great stuff all season long. It's so good to see you in France, but safe travels back to London.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.